Good way to start. Okay. Hello, I'm Emmeline.
And I'm Kindy.
Welcome to Stuff with Moms, a podcast about shows, stories, and enjoying life.
So, Emmeline, what have you been up to since we last talked?
Well, all sorts of things.
Yeah.
My yard looks fantastic. A lot of work went into it, but it's where I want it to be. So that's good. I'm starting on my woodworking projects that I've been wanting to do for years. So I've got some chairs I'm building, some Adirondack chairs. I'm going to be building some desks for our office. And Clark needs a bigger one because he's in one of those like tiny little kid ones, and he's getting almost too big for that. So he's getting a new desk, and then I need a sewing table, and I don't know if I'll do all of these this summer, but there's plans in my brain, and so a few of them will get done. Anyway,
awesome.
So
those Adirondack chairs, are those the ones they're kind of like really bent down?
Yes,
and kind of lower,
lower to the ground, and
very inclined.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yes,
I love those.
So do I.
Those are awesome.
Yeah. So I'm building a few of those, and the plans I have, they can fold. So
ooh,
yeah, so that if you need to move them, they aren't so awkward to move around. So
how did you get your plans?
So I watch a lot of YouTube and then I just kind of figure it out after I watch lots of videos. That's how I do a lot of things.
Yeah, that's a way to do it.
Yeah. So I kind of watch around and look and find things and see things I like here and other things I like there, and I kind of morph them together and create my own stuff. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, Clark was in soccer. I don't remember if I talked about that last month, but he was in spring soccer, and that was a lot of fun. He improved a lot over the season, so that was good. But, you know, they're little kids, so they all kind of just clump around the ball.
Yeah, super entertaining to watch.
Yeah, he was a good little defender. So he had an assist one game, and
nice.
Yeah, and one time he almost made a goal, but that's when he was playing offense. But yeah, he almost had a goal. It hit off the goal post, so that was fun.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, and Lorenzo, let's see, he had his friend come over a few times, and he's such a nice boy. I'm glad Lorenzo has like this superpower to find really good friends.
That's good.
Like good people. Like he finds the good people, and they're just nice and kind and good, and are trying to be good people. So yeah,
that's awesome. That's a good superpower to have.
It is. And so yeah, he just finds them. But yeah, we're just doing good, just moseying along through life here in the South.
It's a good way to do it.
Oh, I do have something funny to share. So
yeah,
Lorenzo has been adamant that he is not going to develop a Southern accent. You know, he's not going to. And whenever I kind of every once in a while, like I'll be talking to people and it kind of comes out a little bit. He the other day we're in the parking lot waiting, and I was like, should we pull over here? And he said, we can't sit in the sun, it will get mighty hot in here. And I said, You just said mighty hot. Instead of really, you're becoming Southern. And he's like, dang it. Anyway, it was really funny and I laughed at him for a while.
Yeah.
So, how have you been doing?
Good. We've got, I don't have any big plans for my yard. Everybody talks about their yard, and I'm like, oh man, it's lucky if I can even get out and weed. It's so bad. And then I can't get through my 4-step program through Scott's. I got 1 through 2 last year. So I'm really hoping that this year is the year that we can get better, because I've got neighbors ahead of us and both sides that really take care of their lawn. And I just, ours could be worse. Like, there's a couple houses down that's so much worse, but I'm trying not to just reason away our hot mess of a lawn. So I don't know. I think my goal is just to get rid of the weeds and figure out what to do. My neighbor, bless his heart, so apparently the owners of the house before just dumped a whole bunch of rocks on one side of our house. So I don't think there was any grass before, but I think they increased the rock amount for whatever reason. So if we wanted to not have any grass front and back, we probably could with the amount of rocks we have on that one side of our house.
Wow.
It's insane. So I I wake up. I don't wake. I do wake up. I mean, who doesn't really? But I'm taking Emmeline to daycare, and he's out there. Him and another guy. They're digging. They've moved all the rocks at this point, and they're just digging out the dirt. And I'm like, "What you doing?" He's like, "I'm stilling rocks." I'm like, "Okay," because I don't care. So I'm like, "All right, that's weird, but whatever." So I come back and I actually go and talk to him. He's like, "My wife's so sick of these rocks just getting kicked because there's just so much. They just roll over onto the sidewalk."
Into his yard.
The little kids kick them down the sidewalk, and so they get into his yard, and then they kick them the other way, and they're a hot mess. It drives us crazy. It drives him crazy. Apparently, I didn't realize how much, and so he's out there doing this because his wife told him so. I'm like, "Well, I'm so sorry. Let me get my husband out here to help you." So he does, and Matt goes out there and finishes. He did the most of the work anyway. He even like fixed our fence because we share a fence, and he fixed that, and he even like moved away the rocks that were leaning up against. I tell you, like, all I have to do is move rocks, and I don't go out there and do it. I just need to go do it so that we're not a nuisance to our neighbor. But he's so sweet. He fixed our fence, and he moved all the rocks off the fence to alleviate the pressure for it to not break again. And then now he's like taking dirt so that the rocks can set in. Because my idea was to get pavers and make like a little fence around, which wouldn't have worked because those would have gotten kicked or moved or whatever. And so his idea was way better. I was like, why didn't I just ask him what he thought? And then we could have done that. But anyway, so Matt got to work on that. It looks so much nicer. It's actually down in more instead of just hairy carry, and there's hardly any rocks that are jumping out of the pile because they're farther down in the ground. So that's nice. And then all of our daisies are popping up. Not daisies. I wish they were daisies. Dandelions everywhere in our yard because, like I said, I'm on step 2. Or no, I just did 1. I need to do 2 of the 4-step Scott's process, and I even bought extra fertilizer for our grass. And then anyway, I just suck at it. And so I'm jealous that you're like, I finally got it to where I want it. I don't even know where I want it. I think I just want it to look nice. I think that should be my goal. Make it look nice and then move from there. So I'm still working on that. We've been in our house for 3 years now. It'll be in June. And it's getting worse. It's not getting better. So yeah, that's special. What else have we been up to? Anders, we finally got him a couple tank tops. He's always wanted them ever since he saw Matt work out in one. He's always wanted a tank top. I'm like, okay, that's weird, but whatever. So he's got a couple, and they're oversized, but he thinks they're great. Little Emmeline. We just went to our last early intervention event, and after July, she won't be in early intervention. She'll be in the school district intervention type, to help her improve. So that's
Wow.
crazy. She's
Woohoo.
getting older. Anders grew like an inch overnight. They are just growing so fast, and I do not like it. I am not a fan of the growing up. I've told Anders many times, just stop growing. You're not allowed to grow, and he just thinks it's funny. But he doesn't get it, obviously, because he's still growing. Rude. And then we're just living life and trying to Emmeline Jr. We're back at the point where communication is hard again.
Oh no.
Because I think it's because I keep forgetting and I'm not patient and I don't watch her. I think if anything, she'll be a huge blessing because she'll help me to slow down and like take a freaking chill pill and stop stressing out so much and just pay attention to the things that she does, because she probably has been trying to communicate to me. I just don't watch. I don't look. I don't listen or whatever. So I don't know. This weekend has been rough because she's like extra tantrum prone and also not having naps. So like 6 o'clock rolled around and she was pissed. Didn't matter what it was. She was so mad. She didn't want anything. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to set you down. We're going to ease into this whole bedtime thing. So thankfully that worked and she was able to go to bed, but man. So just living the life of trying to learn sign language and getting overwhelmed by it and not doing it for a couple weeks and then realizing I need to do it and the cycle starts all over again. Oh, man. But yeah. Oh, hey, how is work going for you?
I love it. I love it. I love the kids. I
bet they
reading
love it
with
when
the
you read to them.
kids. I love their little accents. They're all very southern, I know I said that before, but it's like one of my favorite things that they read in this like heavy southern drawl. It's the best. I just love them. And they're just such a delight. They run and hug me and, oh, Miss Emmeline, let me tell you all the things. And I just love them.
That's cute.
And did I tell you something that I love about the South is everybody pronounces my name right when they read it.
Yay! That's awesome.
Yeah, nobody calls me Emmeline in the South. They all say Emmeline.
Which is so weird. I'm like, there's no een. There's no leaning in the line.
I know.
It's line.
Anyway, it's the best. So
that is awesome.
I love it. I've got the word of the month.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready? It is
no.
Telluric.
Telluric.
So
Not to be confused by the spice of turmeric. Turmeric?
Correct.
Telluric. Tellu.
What do you think Telluric means?
I am drawing a complete blank. All of a sudden I was thinking of that Fox and Hound movie where they're trying to hunt down the fox and somebody yells. It's probably not even this is what they yell, but I just think, Taloo, Taloo. I think it's like, hello, hello, or something. I don't know. Okay, I'll make something up. It means to say hello on a horse.
That's great. So it's an adjective, and it is of or proceeding from earth or soil.
Oh, so what the flowers and plants are doing right now?
Yep.
All right. Telluric. Hello, flowers. You best Telluric quickly before you frost over. Although it probably is better that they stay inside the warm ground if it does frost.
Yeah.
All right, and then you have a book recommendation for us.
I do. So the cool thing about this book is, anybody can read it. So your little kids would love to listen to this story. Your teenagers would love to read this story. And me, as an adult, I love this story. It's a great story. It is called Where the Mountain Meets the Moon, and it's by Grace Lynn. So she wrote these books probably over a decade ago. And over a decade ago, I found these books. And I read it, and I was like, that was awesome. And then I read it out loud to Lorenzo at night. He loved it. And Kyle started listening in, and then he read it, and we've loved it ever since. It is about a little girl named Minley, and her family is very poor. And their town is very poor. Their, the whole area where they lived isn't doing good. The crops aren't doing well. But Minley's father, he loves to tell Minley stories. So at night, she loves listening to her father's stories. And there's a legend that the Jade Dragon, when she reunites with her children, will have the fruitless mountain grow green again. Minley's like, well, if the fruitless mountain grows green again, then our town will prosper, our community will grow, and our family won't be poor anymore. So one of the other stories her dad told her was of this old man of the moon and how he's very wise. So she decides that she's going to go on this, adventure to talk to the old man of the moon so that she can figure out how to get the Jade Dragon reunited with her children. Anyway, recommend it. It's probably one of my favorite books.
Okay.
So try it out. Read it to your kids. Read it for yourself. It's a good one.
Sounds good. I'm excited.
Now to Smallville. Blah, 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 blah. In season 1, we watched episodes 13 through 16. So here we go. 13. I called this the Walk Through Walls guys.
Yep, that's pretty. I
Episode.
was like, rappers walk through walls.
So these guys, they found a way to make meteor rock ink. And if they tattoo themselves, then they have like this amount of time while the tattoo is fresh that they can like walk through stuff.
Yeah.
And so they started robbing things. But after a while, it doesn't have as long of an effect on them. So they kind of rope Whitney, Lana's boyfriend, who's kind of down on his luck, into doing it with him. And he realizes too late that he's in a really bad situation.
Yeah.
So
the small town stuck syndrome is kind of where Whitney was like, I'm going to be stuck here forever. My life is over. I'm going to have a heart attack like my dad and die here, and just really feeling bad about himself. And I know in that moment, everything just feels awful because that happens. And then you add on top of like the high school mentality of like your world is just so small that anything inside that falls apart. Everything's over. Like it's just over. Like readjusting is harder.
yeah.
And but it got me to think, like, because it's almost a theme in a lot of movies where it's people feel stuck in their small town, and it's like, is that actually a thing? Like,
I'm the wrong person to ask because I would love to be stuck in a small town.
I know, same here.
I'm like, that would be great. I love
Yeah.
when I know everybody, and
Sounds
that would
perfect.
just be fun to just live there your whole life. Maybe it's because I've moved around so much. I've already had that
Yeah.
experience. So now I'm like, I would like to just stay somewhere forever.
Yeah. Right? I don't know, because I feel like you could feel stuck anywhere. Like, even if you do get out of your small town that you think is awful, like you could feel stuck anywhere. And I think it's just
A
working
mentality.
through, yeah, working through that and getting out of that and figuring out ways. I think the issue is not moving. Like, for me, the blaring obviousness of life is you just keep moving. And yes, you're going to get setbacks, but I think if you keep moving forward, finding that. So, like, say your goal is I'm going to build a swimming pool at my house. So we'll use that. This is metaphorically because I can't think of like something specific cuz I don't have lofty goals. I just am happy when I'm happy. That's all I want to be. I'm not like I want to climb Kilimanjaro or whatever. So, like, I take it for a grain of salt because this is coming from a person who has no goals like that. But it can apply to ones like that. So you're trying to build a pool in the back of your house and you're having a hard time finding a contractor, or you've gotten to the point where the hole's there but you can't find somebody to do the concrete. The whole concept of moving forward is that you don't just give up. You keep searching. Yeah, it's going to suck, and yeah, it's going to be hard, but that, I think, is what builds character, in the fact that you are taking responsibility for the fact that you are going to build this pool and you will do what it takes to get it done. Finances. So you've got to have 3 jobs because you really want this pool really bad. Okay, then do that. Like, it's all about, I guess, your mentality and how I don't know. I think that just really stuck out to me because I feel like when people get to that point, they've got to get out of it so quickly because it's very detrimental.
I was going to say, it's kind of like if you're in that rut, it's almost like instead of if you don't get out of it right away, it's almost like you're digging the rut deeper.
Yeah.
And you kind of, it's harder to get out.
Yep. And I get it. I think everybody should have woe is me moments, but they shouldn't last years or months for you to be able to find what it is that you're trying to do or trying to move forward with.
Yeah. Agreed. What I noticed from this episode was that these guys kind of found Whitney when he was down in this kind of rut. And they took advantage of him and kind of peer pressured him. And so I think as a mom, I was like, I got to notice times when my kids are in those situations and help them so that, they aren't taken advantage of by people at school and, give in to things because it's a change, because it will help them feel better in that moment. We got to be aware of our kids and things that they're going through so that we can help them in those sorts of situations. So that's kind of where my mind went with this episode.
Yeah, no, that's a really good one because I feel like a lot of predatory things that are out there, that's how everyone gets suckered into something that's more damaging than good because they're at a place where they're either looking for something, they feel alone, or they feel abandoned, and so they find that thing that, one, either isn't healthy like drugs or alcohol, or two, is damaging psychologically, that isn't going to help them or make them better. And I think that's a really good point, especially with watching out for those that you love around you, and also just helping them to work through whatever it is that has gotten them into that rough patch.
Exactly.
So in this one, it's also the one where the movie theater is going to get bulldozed for a parking lot,
Oh, yes.
but Lana convinces Lex to actually refurbish it and make it like a coffee hangout joint. There is a face that she makes, and I want you to tell me how you took it. After Lex agrees, he says, "This is the beginning of a partnership." And she makes a face. It's almost like disappointed or holy crap, what have I just done? Something like that. Is
Yes.
it because it's Lex that she's just made a partnership with, or she feels super stressed out because she just realized she is taking on a
She's
lot
taking
of
on.
responsibility?
I think I think it's the latter because I don't think she knows. Like for her, Lex is just a really
Lex.
rich guy that happens to be Clark's friend. She doesn't know him
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah.
So I think for
Okay.
her, it's like, holy crap, now I'm in charge of a business.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought, but I was like, I don't know. I was glad that that was it instead of reading into it, because there were a lot of things that I was like, why did this happen? And then later I was like, oh, because of this, and so I scratched it out. So I just, yeah, for some reason writing things down is like, oh, okay, duh, you know this. Anyway, so the next episode is called Zero.
Yep. And it's about this. Okay, let's see if I can summarize it good. Lex in his past had this really, and you kind of see it from lots of different perspectives because he kind of retells the story with how it suits him. And in the end, you don't really actually know what went down.
Yeah, you do.
Do you?
So it's different perspectives because of how
Lex told
he
it.
wants it told. Yeah, but at the end he does tell you how it goes, because when you first see this scene
Oh,
play out,
he tells you how it goes, but is that really how it went? Or was it one of the
yes,
other ones? No, you never know.
yes,
Because
yes, you do.
he says,
Okay,
yes, Clark, I'm telling the truth. But he says that about a lot of things, Kindy, and he's
I
not.
know. But it makes sense. I think that's why I'm like, okay.
Okay, so Lex, in his past, went to this
Club called
nightclub
Zero Consequences.
and took this girl that he knew there to show him that her fiance is cheating on her. And
Yep.
so she's upset at him. And then he chases after him and gets mad at Lex for bringing her there and stabs
No, he
Lex.
doesn't. Oh, yeah.
He
Sorry, go
stabs
ahead.
Lex. And then you see that he gets that guy, that fiance guy gets shot.
Yeah, who stabbed Lex?
And then as the story goes, you see different people are the ones holding the gun. So at one point, it's the bodyguard kind of bouncer guy. At one point, it's Lex. And then at one point, it's the
Lex
girl
shooting him.
Yes.
Because at this point, that is the story he's sticking with.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's the girl, because he
was
said it was
protecting her.
him because he knew that his dad would not help her, but if he said he shot him, then his dad would do everything to protect him. She kills herself, I think, because she killed this guy, and there's like no repercussions. Her life is totally shattered because of it. She lost a fiance and a friend, what kind of friend he was to her, we don't really know, but
I think you're being too nice to Lex. See, I think he said that's what she did to cover it up to look good to Clark.
You think?
Oh yeah. I think he's the one that shot the dude.
Because he
and
stabbed him.
And then to look good to Clark, he said that he was protecting her and that she's actually the one who shot him. But I think he's the one that shot him.
But he's still the nice guy.
Yeah. And I think
hard.
he is trying hard, and that was in his past and he's trying to get away from that.
Yeah.
But I think he did shoot him, but he's trying to turn a new leaf, and I think he's like, if I tell Clark that I shot a guy, he might not like me as much. Anyway, so I think that the second one's the real thing.
Well, I think the third one is real, even though you're probably right. He's still good to me in my eyes.
And in the long run, you never really find out. So like it's a mystery even like through all the seasons. Like it never really.
Oh, I'm sure.
So it's kind of a mystery, and it's up to you to decide what you think.
Well, and
who you think Lex is.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting because you're right. He does twist the truth, and he like there's so the one with the flower episode, the next one, he gets away with practically lying to Clark. Like doesn't even admit that he knows the scientist guy, even though what is Peter? Is it Peter? His friend?
Pete, yeah.
Pete, yeah. Pete says that he was, and he's like, oh, he was under the influence of the flower. Like the fact that could be conveniently answered away.
Oh yeah. Lex, he's the master of dodging questions with either questions to answer the question. Like, what do you think? What do you think, Clark? Do you think I'd really do that?
Yes.
Or he tells half-truths, just part of the things that are true.
Yeah.
He is so good at it.
He's really good at it. And I don't understand why he thinks that Clark should just blindly trust him. Because I don't know if you've ever dealt with somebody like that, but there's something about that person that you're like, I kind of don't really believe you. Or maybe I'm saying that because someone was half-truthing me, and somebody else had told me what actually happened, and so I'm like, why are you hiding this from me? I don't understand. Anyway, yeah, it's hard to trust people like that. So it's like, how why do they not become like what am I trying to say? I don't even know. Why is Lex so I don't even know how it like comes to the point where they hate each other, but I think Lex is an idiot because why would it be surprising that Clark
doesn't end up trusting him?
Yeah, then like maybe that's why they fell apart, because Lex assumed everybody should trust him because he's trustworthy. He portrays trustworthiness. But in actuality he doesn't, and he gets mad at everybody else, and it's like that's not how the world works. Like people have this sixth sense. Anyway, I think you totally blew my brain. I think you're right, though. I think he shot him because, of course, I mean, it makes sense. He gets stabbed. He probably was pissed.
No.
You stabbed me. I'm rich little Lex. I'm going to shoot you in the chest. And, yeah, anyway.
Yep.
Dang it.
The one thing I wanted to talk about this one is the past can come and bite you in the butt. Like that's what happened with Lex. Like this ended up turning up in his happy new little world he's created in Smallville, and I think that can happen with anybody. You know, if you have situations, yes, it's good to move on and become better, but if you didn't fully deal with it, whether like mentally or, apologize to people or, handle situations, it's going to come back and get you. And then I like that they touched on that this guy that got shot had this doppelganger. And so I was curious, has anybody ever like told you about somebody that they saw that looks like you, like your doppelganger? Because everybody supposedly has one in the world.
Right.
And maybe there's somebody out there that looks like me. Maybe they're like a supermodel in...
Yeah, there you go. Somebody told me I looked like Emmy Rossum, the Christine from Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
when my hair was curlier, but I didn't see it. I was like, no, she's way prettier. She knows how to do her hair. She probably pays people to do it, but whatever.
Yeah. And we got episode 15 with the Nicodemus flower. I called it the Psycho Flower episode.
Okay, so this one is about a crazy flower that apparently back in the day existed, and they burned the whole town down because they went crazy with their animal primal instincts.
Yeah. So this flower kind of like sneezes at them.
Yeah, and like blows its pollen at people.
Yeah, and then they inhale the pollen, sneeze, and then after that they kind of shift to their deepest desires. They'll just do them without.
Their inhibitions are all gone. They just are doing whatever they want. And although Lana sneezed twice, so technically she should have been a lot crazier.
And then I think she was making up for Pete because Pete doesn't sneeze at all.
He does. He sneezed on Chloe before she turned around.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he said boo or something.
No, he sneezed.
Oh. Okay. Dang it.
But I was so annoyed at the fact that they're like, it's a moving flower. Let's get closer to it. It's like, what?
They see a lot of weird stuff in their town. It's like Meteor Rock Central. So
I know, which would be another reason to be like,
to stay away.
Stay away from that. Yeah. This is not going to end well for me if I get close.
Yeah. So everybody that then sneezes, they kind of, do all these things that they wouldn't normally do. And so, it starts out with this guy driving psycho. And then Jonathan gets Clark's dad, Jonathan Kent. He's the next victim. And he becomes like this rogue. And then
hitting on his wife.
Yep. And then he gets really angry at the bank and takes a gun there to show him.
Yeah,
he means business. Taking advantage of him.
Yeah. Shoots Clark.
And then he gets... So after they, do their crazy stuff, then they pass out and pass into a coma. And at the end of the coma, they die. And so... After Jonathan passes out, they realize that this is kind of something that's happening and we need to figure out a cure. So Lex is running around as soon as it happens to Jonathan because he doesn't want anything bad to happen to him because then he'll lose face with Clark, I think. So he finds the doctor that he's paid to work on Meteor Rock, and he's the one that brought these Nicodemus flowers back to life. And he's like, this isn't what I'm paying you for. And they end up figuring out a cure. But a lot of stuff goes down in the episode. This is the one where when I was watching with Lorenzo, I was like, you have to cover your eyes in this part.
Yeah.
Because Lana does like this strip tease and then jumps into the pool in her underwear. So, because she gets sneezed on by the flower, pollinated by the flower. Oh, that sounds weird. Pollinated by the flower.
That's kind of what happens. It like shoots its pollen at people and then dies.
Yeah. So she gets it and becomes like this fiery. What other way to say
cooler.
It? Cooler.
Yeah.
A cooler version of Lana.
Yeah, and her wispy voice went away in a scene. I was like, this would be way better than this little. Hi, Clark. How are you doing? What are you up to today? Oh, I'm just, going around town trying to be responsible and just got my eyes at you and do you want to know a secret? crazy.
Oh, you have no idea how much I love that you don't like her.
That she drives you crazy. Does she not drive you crazy?
Oh,
Or have
Kindy,
you,
you have no idea how much I do not like Lana.
Okay, good.
She
almost makes the movie go down a couple pegs.
Oh, she does. She's finally Kyle said something to me that I was like, yeah, you're right. He said, Lana is a plot device. She moves the plot along.
Yeah.
And so now that I think of her like that, it kind of helps me. So this first season, it isn't as bad, but as the seasons go along, she just becomes more and more of this, like, how can we get Lana in here and help move the plot along? So
but she doesn't need to be. Like, she
know.
doesn't need to be.
She could be her own person. And anyway, we'll get to there later.
Okay. I wish she wasn't in it for so long.
But this one, I thought it was so funny because, you know, three of our mainish characters all get Nicodemused. And all of them, Jonathan, Lana, and Pete, all of them take it out one way or another on Lex, like their anger.
Oh, yeah.
It was so funny to me because I was like, oh, poor Lex. Like, this stupid flower makes people turn on Lex.
Yeah, because Lana steals his car.
Yep. After she, like, tries to
hit on him
and he rejects her, and then she, like, gets angry at him and then takes his car.
Yeah.
Oh, so funny.
Yeah, that's true. I love the fact that the doctor comes in. I don't know why he's at the house to see Lex, but he's like, something with my lab. And I loved this part. I thought it was hilarious. And especially the way Lex says, you mean your barn? I loved that.
Oh.
He was pretty. It's almost like who's the
actor? Michael Rosenbaum.
Yeah, Michael Rosenbaum. Thank you. It's almost like he's kind of getting into the groove of Lex and like kind of playing around more with it, which I really like. Because in real life, he's actually really easygoing and fun to get along with. Easy to get along with, I should say. And he talks about how he just likes to have fun on set. Until he's like, they say action and then he's serious. But you kind of see his personality come into it. And I love when actors act differently than they do in real life. There's a character and I love him, but it was slightly disappointing where it's like, oh, wow, they like wrote you as you. The guy who played in Castle and was the captain, main guy in Firefly and Serenity, and then now he's in Rookie. What is
Captain
his name?
Hammer? That's the only thing I know him from.
Captain Hammer?
Is he Captain Hammer from Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog?
Castle. Well, I don't know anything about that. Maybe.
Tell me his name.
Nathan Fillion.
Yep.
He's
Captain Hammer.
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious.
Captain Hammer's here. My hair's blowing in the wind. Oh, I love that.
That's funny.
If any of you haven't ever checked it out, watch on YouTube Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. It's funny.
I'm Googling it right now. Oh, that's hilarious. It's got what's his face in it.
Yeah.
Everybody, what's his face?
Doogie Howser.
Yeah, that guy.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yep. Okay, anyway, before we got onto that tangent, what were we talking about?
Acting.
Oh yeah, just that part where it seemed like in Nicodemus, and yeah, this one and the other one, he's just, I don't know, he's more relaxed.
He's getting
into
more
his character.
Yeah, he's kind of,
he kind of had more fun with it
now.
I think.
Yeah, I agree. This
so
is
I
where
love that part.
Yeah.
Just the tone and the inflection. Your barn.
So great.
But I don't understand. I honestly think Whitney is a plot device too, because what is he good for? Clark does all the boyfriend things. Like, he's the one that took her up to the fan thing at the end of that. Yeah. End of that episode, and he's like hardly in the picture at all. It's like, what is he? Is he a good kisser? Like, it seems like that's the only reason that they're still going out. They hardly do anything together. It's mostly her and Clark hanging out.
Yep. I did have a question for this one, and it's the question that Chloe asks in the episode. What is your deepest desire?
I don't know.
And I was sitting thinking about it. Well, my deepest desire is probably that my boys will be good, happy people when they leave our home. You know, they'll be good humans.
Yep. Good humans, well adjusted. I think mine is I want Jesus to come right now.
Let's just be done. Let's be done with Earth life.
Yeah. I'm ready for the second coming. So that's my deepest desire.
So if Nicodemus sneezed on us, we'd have weird reactions.
Right? I'd be like, where's Jesus? Where's he at? Is he coming? Is he here? Where? And you'll be like, boys, let's learn how to be good boys.
Right now. What are we going to do? All right. Last episode 16. Ryan.
Yeah.
This is my favorite episode of season 1.
Is it?
It is.
Why is that?
The kid that they got to play Ryan is such a good actor. And you really just empathize with everything he goes through. You see Clark become like this different, you see him in a different way. And how he interacts with kids is like this brotherly role. And so it's kind of fun to see that. And you see how Lex, you see how they all interact with this, younger kid who's actually like the age that they should be in the show.
Right?
They're supposed to be.
High school.
They're supposed to.
20s.
Yeah. Clark
Late
and
20s.
Lana and Chloe and Pete are all supposed to be freshmen in high school.
Oh my gosh. That's what they're supposed to be? I was like, maybe sophomore?
Nope.
Maybe in like a couple years they'll be. Oh my gosh.
And Lex, he's a 20, I think he's supposed to be 22. And I think he's 25 when he started filming or something like that. Anyway,
25,
so they're
26,
all older,
way older
than they should be. And
Yeah.
portraying younger versions. And so, Ryan is probably the age that they should be. But it's still fun to see. Let's see. So Ryan is in a really bad situation. He can read people's minds. And his stepfather, his mother had died. His stepfather remarried. And him and his new wife use Ryan's abilities to get money, to steal, rob people, all sorts of stuff. And at the beginning of the episode, they rob this old man that runs a pawn shop, and they kill him. Ryan runs into the road, and Martha Kent hits him with the car and then takes him to the hospital before stepdad could find Ryan and take him back. So they go to the hospital with him, and the doctor's like, he's been those aren't all bruises and cuts from, getting hit by a car. Some of those are from something else. So, and Ryan claims he has amnesia. And he just wants to stay with the Kents because they're nice people. And the whole time he's reading people's minds to kind of get them what they want so that they'll keep him around. And he can't read Clark's mind. And he's like, it's kind of nice being around him because hearing everybody's thoughts is distracting. But there's a couple situations where Clark saves him, and Ryan loves comic books, and he's this fan of this warrior angel character. And at one point he's reading one of the comics, and it says, "You're safe now." Warrior Angel is like pulled open this metal thing, and it is saying to the kid that was hurt,
it's bright.
"You're safe now."
Reaching in. Yeah.
And then the very next scene, Ryan like gets trapped. He's hiding from his stepdad who came to find him. He gets trapped in a garbage truck, and Clark ends up chasing him down. The stepdad runs off, and Clark sees that he's in the garbage truck, so he rips open the garbage truck and says the line, "You're safe now." And then Ryan's like, "Oh, my hero." But there's just these moments where Ryan, like, that kid can act. Like, he cries and says his lines, and you're just like, I believe everything this kid is saying. Like, good actor.
I think this one I actually cried.
I did too. I cry every time I watch this episode. But I just love that, he just wants out of this situation. He wants to be a good person. He doesn't want to steal from people. He likes that Clark uses his powers to do good. And he wants to be like that. He wants to help people. Because he figures out Clark has powers and that he's an alien because he reads people's thoughts. And he asked Martha what her biggest fear was, and she must have thought that somebody will look in the storm cellar or whatever. So he goes and looks in the storm cellar and sees Clark's spaceship. Anyway, and he's like, I'll keep your secret. And anyway, you just really feel for this character and what he's going through, and you don't want him to be in that horrible situation. So it's just, I love Ryan. He's one of my favorite characters of the series. He's just a good kid that wants to make the world a better place.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
And he does do it a couple times. He's like, Lana, you need to fire that girl that works for you. And Lana looks into it, and that girl had been stealing from the coffee shop. So just little things.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot of Emmeline talking.
No, that's okay. That's okay. This was an episode that held a lot of Kooky moments.
Oh no!
Lots and lots.
All right, well, then we'll get to Kindy's favorite Kooky moments, and then we'll do my favorite Superman reference quotes.
Yeah. Before I start, I do want to say I did love the fact that Clark, in a scene with Lex Luthor, they're talking, and he's in a shirt that is blue with red trim. So like red collar and red on the cuffs. Thank you. So anyway, I thought that was cool. But because this time I actually watched the episode, so I saw a lot more than had I just been listening whilst doing other things. But this is hard. It's hard. There were a lot of Kooky moments for me. So if I had to pick, I would say it had to do with Ryan. Yes, he's a good actor. He delivers his lines, but he was so awkward whenever him and Clark would hug, and they did it like 3 times. So it just, I don't know what it was. It was just awkward. Maybe it's because it's not how I would have hugged people. I don't know. It was just so But the biggest Kooky moment was Ryan's reaction when Lana kissed him on the cheek.
Whoa.
Yeah. He, instead of hiding his amazement, he just, I don't know, was
Said it out
too
loud.
overtly amazed because Lana kissed him. So dumb. I think because it's Lana, she's not that great.
Oh,
But
she was sweet to him though, and
she was,
it
yeah.
was nice.
She's sweet. She's just super annoying when she talks and has really dumb lines. Cause you know what, because I have a note before I watched any of the episodes. I was like, season 1, episode 13 through 16, eye roll moment, and then I wrote Lana. Pretty much anything with Lana, which this one was.
I have 2 quotes. Chloe says, Clark Kent, investigative reporter. It has a nice ring to it. And then Lex says, Clark, you can't save the world. All you'll end up with is a Messiah complex and a lot of enemies.
Yep.
So those were my 2 favorites. I liked them.
I wonder if it was super fun to write out this storyline, because to like give all the details and intricacies of how Clark Kent becomes Superman and how Lex becomes his enemy is just, it's just really cool.
It is, and it's fun to like watch it happen, and these 2 good actors that kind of play off each other, and it's just fun. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So there we go.
So you actually wanted to know how I was
Oh, yes.
liking this season.
So
Last time we didn't discuss this and you were disappointed. So
that's true.
And I think you're forgetting again. So
I did.
to help
I
you,
didn't write it down. So okay, Kindy. So now, overall, what do you think so far of season 1?
I'm actually starting to like it. After I watch a CD, I actually want to watch more. I think it's also because I just want to see the actors
Develop.
No, the actors that come in and act for a little bit and then they leave, like the guest actors.
Oh, the guest stars, yeah.
Yeah, but it is fun to see them develop and to see Clark becoming Superman and kind of how that goes. It's every time I sit down to watch it, I always ask Matt to watch it with me if he wants to watch it with me, and he laughs. So
that could be the thing you do.
Yeah. So I'm starting to like it more. I think I would like it a lot more if Lana wasn't in it. If she wasn't in it, I really think I would be a huge fan. And I guarantee you that's probably why I never went any farther than wherever I left off, because so far we're still in the episodes that are familiar. So either I've seen clips of them when they were airing, or I watched it with somebody, or I was watching it until I just couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't watch it. I don't know. I don't know what it was. It was probably because I couldn't take Lana. Although I kind of didn't really have an opinion back then. I pretty much just watched whatever. So I doubt that was it. But I don't know. So I am interested. I think that's where I'm starting to enjoy it, is that I'm getting invested and I want to see the episodes that I haven't seen ever. And I think that's where it'll probably start to really anchor in my soul of like a show that I would like. So
well, good. There's potential
that was a really
there.
long answer. Yeah.
Good.
I don't know if I'd watch it again on my own, but maybe towards halfway through I might. I'll just skip all the Lana focused ones.
But there's good ones that you want to watch here and there in the beginning. So It happens. Next episode. Yep, you guessed it. We're going to watch more Smallville and talk about it and have our little topics that we talk about because of the episodes, which I think is kind of fun. I've been enjoying it.
Me too.
So we'll be watching from season 1, episodes 17 through 21. If you want to watch them ahead of time with us, you're welcome to.
And it's the last episodes in that season, so we'll be hitting up season 2 soon.
Yep. We would love to hear from you. We post a question on our Facebook page along with pictures from the episode if you want to check those out. You can reach out to us there on Facebook or on our email, and there are links to both of those on our website. And they're listed in the show notes.
Help us grow by telling others about us. Share something you learned with them, like how Emmeline has really great taste in books and that she just flourishes with children. That's great. We would like to thank Red Production for the music and Jonica for the logo. And to our listeners, we appreciate you.
Toodle pip.
Okay, so Anders wanted to go with me to the store, so he puts on some shoes, and as I'm driving, he goes, "It massages my blood holders." He's wearing his rain boots, and I go, "Blood holders?" He goes, "Yeah, the things that hold the blood." I go, "Your veins?" He's like, "Yeah." His rain boots were massaging his blood holders.
I love that. I'm going to tell that to my nurse next time.
You does.
My doctors. Oh, that's awesome.